Talking about digesters, what is the main difference between a lagoon digester and a CSTR one?
A CSTR digester is built in a tank, in a concrete tank or a steel tank. So it's a complete mixed tank reactor, complete diet tank reactor. That means that I have in a tank, in a steel or concrete tank, I have installed agitators to mix it up completely. And in case of a lagoon technology or lagoon digester, I have just excavation in the soil. I've just dig a big hole in the soil, and I put all the technology, the mixes and everything into this hole in the ground.
When does it make sense to install a tank digester or a lagoon one?
In general, it's much better normally it's better to install a tank reactor, because a tank reactor is easier to install and it's easier to heat up. I can insulate it, I can heat it up, and it's easier to mix because it's round and I can just install mixers and can mix it around inside. In case of a lagoon, it's just especially in emerging and developing countries, quite often in agri-industrial industries, they are using lagoons or just big lakes, as treatment for their wastewater or highly contaminated wastewater, or even for organic wastes. So they are just dumping it in, and then they are trying to convert this into biogas plants, because they can just cover that and can produce, because the biogas is produced naturally in these lagoons, and they transfer it into digesters. And if I really have huge volumes of organic loaded wastewater, it can make sense to install it, or to install a lagoon digester, just because a tank is much more expensive, or can be more expensive than a lagoon, to install such a huge volume in a lagoon.
What does it change from the safety point of view?
If both are installed properly, so following all legal requirements, there's not really a difference. If I install really a lagoon as it should be, and following all legal requirements, it's the same, it fulfills the same health and safety requirements as a tank reactor. But unfortunately, quite often the lagoon solutions or lagoon digesters are built as cheap as possible, because it should be the only, what I've mentioned, the main advantage, or the only advantage really of a lagoon technology or lagoon digester is it is cheaper, or it should be cheaper than the tank. Therefore, often these lagoon digesters are installed with the lowest investment costs possible. And so the first point quite often where they are try to save money is for the health and safety issues.